Hello, IDVer. That's a great start, right? I think it's a pretty good start.
Welcome back to the Identity 5 Premier Tournament. This is day whatever it is, day 2, I guess, according to the stream. You may recognize me from literally just last night. Hello, again. I'm with Bortley, we're your commentators.
But my name says Hal on the screen, so I might be the ghost
You
of
might be
Hal.
Hal now.
Ooh,
You might be Hal now.
I might be. You never know. I could be
You
Borley.
never
I
know.
could be Hal. We don't know.
Who knows? Who knows? Hello, chat.
Yay! It's gonna say my name now. Woo!
Never, no longer the ghost of Hal past.
Sorry, guys. If I cough, I sorry. But today we have an exciting match. UKW. You who knows?
You know who versus Iron Thorns.
You know who versus Iron Thorns. Exciting matchup for today.
Very, very goated teams. Gonna do some very goated matches. Very exciting today.
Very exciting. We might see Darkwoods. We might not see Darkwoods. I pray on we seeing Darkwoods today. May they answer us.
Yesterday Darkwoods got banned, but it never got played.
I don't know why you would ban it, because I don't think anyone's gonna pick it.
No one's picking it.
Listen,
I think they just did it as like a throwaway, like, oh, we need to ban a map. Just Darkwoods.
It's part of the forbidden list now with the hospital, so who knows?
Yes.
Unless you're deep and dark secrets revealed Darkwood in the lineup. Honestly,
Your
I would love
PNG
to
is
play
so
Darkwood.
wild.
It's beautiful. It's perfect. It represents me, but I don't drink. But it represents
But don't drink.
Yeah. The life of a Canadian.
No, did you say the life of a Canadian?
Yeah. The life of a Canadian.
Are you Canadian?
Yeah. That's why I
did
can
not know
drink.
that. Well, I mean, I can too. I just didn't realize you were Canadian.
Well, now you know.
I do know. The more you know, chat.
The more you know.
Anyways.
You know what? Is there be a Canadian Survivor?
There needs to be. You know what? I agree. I don't think we have one yet.
I think we're really lacking on the Canadian part. So I feel like, what would it be, like a French Canadian? Ooh, that'd be cool. That's what we need in this game.
Yeah. And while we wait, actually, for the teams to hop into the game and do the coin flip and all of that, speaking of, one of us needs to keep track of that. I can do it. Why don't we talk about Man of the Hour, who was once revealed last night? Let's talk about Escapologist.
Escapologist. Yeah, he's a interesting character for the release he is. Because last rescuer we had was Knight, who was honestly game-changing. And now we get another rescuer who is game-changing but not broken, so... It's
I do want to say IT is going to be picking their map, and which means you know who will be banning a map that they do not want to play. But back to Escapologist. I think he looks fun as hell. I'm very excited for him. His skills are definitely like not one we've seen be put onto a survivor before, because we've seen like hunters be able to create like domains and stuff like that, like with Sculptor with the chisel, but never a survivor really being able to do something like this.
Also, the fact that the rescuer can be played more of a support rather than just being like a pseudo support is honestly an interesting choice. because he doesn't have to be fully rescue, as he can just be helpful by just moving your teammates' chairs or just completely blocking projectiles as a wall. A lot of crazy stuff he can do for free. It's kind of insane.
Oh yeah. And the fact that he can just move his survivors closer to where the rescuer is at the moment in time. I'm looking.
So as we see, they are banning Moonlit River Park, and IT picks Ever Sleeping as their map first. Round 1, Ever Sleeping.
Yay, the standard stuff.
The standard spiel. I mean, I enjoy watching Ever Sleeping. Honestly, out of all the maps in the game, what is your favorite one to watch? Like, realistically.
And my favorite to watch, honestly, the ones that we don't get to see very often. So, like, your Lakesides, your Moonlits, your Leos, like these bigger maps that don't really get played very often, honestly, are probably my favorite to watch. Just because, again, they're not played very often, and so not a lot of people know, like, how to play these maps in tournament. And so getting to see these examples of these maps being played, even if it's just a community tournament, I find really fun.
Well, I don't really agree with that sentiment. I think, what is it, for me at least, of course, that like maps like Ever Sleeping are always fun because it's a very balanced map to a degree. I think it's the most map where you'll see the most equal amount of hunter and survivor equality. There's not very much
Yeah.
one-sidedness to the map, which is always nice. And another map I also like is Red Church. I hate playing as a hunter, but I still enjoy watching the map from time to time.
Yeah, Church is an interesting map to watch. I don't mind playing on it particularly. I think it's actually kind of a fun map to play on, no matter if I'm hunter or survivor.
I just can't stand that map as hunter, because it's just
There's
no matter
a
where
lot of
you're
walls.
chased, it's gonna be long.
Yeah, it's a lot of walls. Church is literally just a lot of walls.
Walls and pallets and walls. No, very
Yeah,
little
and
windows.
graveyard is annoying as well. Not a lot of windows in
Yeah.
that one. You can make a lot of
Honest-
windows.
Honestly, low key, if they could, you know that like god pallet area, right?
Yes.
By graveyard. If they were to make that a breakable wall, that would be so much better for
Oh
the
my
map. But
god.
they didn't do that. They did absolutely nothing with the map actually. But you know who is starting with a hunter faction, which means that IT starts with survivors.
Yes, indeed, they do. What is chat doing right now?
Hockey player survivor for
Yuki's.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Honestly, if he could like just like slide in a straight line and just get a skate across, that'd be fire.
Yeah, just like a little dash on his skates
Yeah.
would be so
And he gets a
cool.
few
And then he
hockey
would also
pucks,
be a
just like
stunner.
it'd just be Archer. It'd just be Archer 2.0 with no negative speed buff.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not a great idea.
Well, you never know until somebody actually decides, hey, we're gonna do this.
We're gonna do this, yeah. We're gonna make a very broken survivor on release called Archer, and then gets nerfed to oblivion, but still really good actually.
Yeah,
It's so fun and
I
weird that
enjoy
people still
Archer very
think.
much.
I just really want to see her in tournament. I want to see how the hunters deal with her, because she's just gonna be such a nuisance when that comes around.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people think that she isn't really like that good after her nerfs, but she's actually still extremely solid of a pick. Because like if a survivor does go down near her, she's already there for the harass, and she can load up her bow extremely early and just be able to get the 2-second stun upon. And if she can time it correctly, she can cancel the animation and the survivor will just instantly be on the ground. It doesn't have to go through the entire animation. So I still see Archer being like a really strong character. Maybe not the strongest stunner in the game, but just a strong one.
And I mean, even if she wasn't a like a stunner harasser, she's a really solid kiter for the kiting class. But
oh yeah.
And I mean, if she's being banned a lot by a lot of hunters, you know she's still a problem. I know people will be like, well, I don't ban her, so she's not a problem. But I never really understood that mindset. Because, like, I don't ban Priestess anymore, but, like, she's still kind of scary when it's a map that she's really good on, you know?
Yeah, I still ban Priestess on, like, bigger maps, because I just don't want to deal with her. Like, the maps I know she's good on, I just ban her anyways, because I'm just like, I don't want to deal with you.
Chinatown Priestess, I shiver. I'd never want to deal with that.
I'm looking at chat right now, and Chewy said, God dang, 6 a.m. match. Yes, I'm right there with you, bestie. I'm right there with you.
As the sun's rising, we have to play IDV. It's like
oh my
a
God,
job
the sun
for
wasn't
us.
even up when I logged in today.
Really?
Really? It was just
my sun is up and it's shining and bright for me, which is good because my lights aren't working in my room. I don't know why, but my house has a weird light system. I'm pretty sure mice ate my wires, so whenever they jump upstairs, they sometimes turn on and off. I don't know how it works, but I believe the mice are engineers. So.
Well, you know what? That's just how it is. Sometimes the mice are just engineers.
You know what? Why don't we get like a entomologist, but for mice, like a Pied Piper? Now that would be pretty cool. Pied Piper
like
hunter.
Be like yeah, I was gonna say that's definitely a hunter, because they love their ologists for survivors.
Ologist, the pipeologist, the piper. I don't know.
Yes, the pipeologist.
The pipeologist, yeah. The man who summons the rats.
Could have an entirely different meaning. Pipeologist could have an entirely different meaning. Man's is just a smoker. And we're getting into the biggest bands!
Get into the mat! Pick the bands, everything in between.
The best part! Ain't no way. Ain't no
Well, we have a Doctor and Florian band starting off the gate. So
dummy
we're
immediately going in for, and I'm not calling them a dummy. That is their name. Dummy IDV is their actual name, going for a doctor band right out of the gate.
So we're probably seeing a control hunter of some kind, Mad Eyes, Hermit.
Oh please, Mad Eyes, that would be so cool.
I mean, it is never sleeping, so it is the second most likely chance. So, Enchantress next.
This is definitely a control hunter.
We're starting off
meta aside, put the meta characters aside. Who do we think this is going to be, based on these bands so far?
I can't tell if it's.
How to saying Joseph.
Joseph would be a wild one.
Joseph round 1 would be so wild, and it would have been so worth waking up at 6:20 in the morning.
But then they ban Night at the end, so I'm more opting it is either a Hermit or a Mad Eyes, but the Enchantress band is a little weird in between. So who knows what it could be, but we'll see any second from now on.
Instantly, they already knew what they were going with. It is a Hermit, round 1 Hermit.
It is a Hermit!
5-hour match, let's go!
Then the bands make sense now, so.
Alright,
round 1 Hermit. Honestly, surprising amount of Hermits in this tournament. Even after him getting nerfed. A lot of Hermit players in the world.
A lot of Hermits out there.
hermits in their
causing
natural
havoc.
habitat, roaming around, connecting the ciphers. Oh, what an industrial wildlife we're in. What, starting off? Yeah. Now, this comp can somewhat deal with the hermit, so it's not really a bad comp into hermit, so we'll see not a very oppressive force from hermit, and the only issue is Gravekeeper's kind of a little bit of a bad rescuer against hermit depending on the shovel usage. So
Yeah.
we'll see how this all pans out at the end, but it can go either way. So that's the benefit here. Good kiting material.
We just have to see what these players are going to be able to do with and against this hermit. Oh, they're picking their builds now. Interesting. Tournament mode must have changed last night.
Yeah, it's builds and then it's picks. Oh.
Ballsy.
Oh.
Did you mess up?
Right.
So Lolsy did funny, guys. So a little bit of technical issues. We forgot area selection.
Yeah,
So we're just gonna
hacked our ciphers,
rerun
so we
this real
gotta
quick.
restart this all.
We're gonna rerun this. I'm pretty sure it'll be all the same characters, all the same bands, all of that. Nothing's
Same
gonna
bands,
change. We just
same
forgot area
Hermie.
selection. Same
So-
Hermie Dermy.
I'm so excited for the Hermie. So honestly, what if we saw a Leo in the tournament? That would go crazy.
Yeah,
Or a
but
feaster.
it's
I want to
so-
see a feaster.
Yes! Oh my god, especially after that round one, and I think it was COA qualifiers.
Yes, I believe.
The round one feature went crazy. I remember watching that and I was just like, whoa.
Honestly, I
He's
couldn't
still
find
good.
that match, but I heard it happen, so.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was on Zeus's channel or on ZG's channel.
I know
I can't
they
remember
do
which
it, but I
one
usually
commentated
watch
it.
it on CCC IDV.
I
They
see.
so. But I couldn't find the match, so I kind of missed out on Peak Hermit. No, not Peak Hermit. Peak Feaster.
Peak Feaster. You want to know who the peakest feaster of all was?
Ooh.
Roxanne, all the way back in COA 2. Best feaster in
I
the
don't think-
entire world.
I don't think I've ever seen Koa 2.
You haven't seen the Roxanne Feaster match? Oh, I'm sending it to you.
No.
After
Oh,
this,
you have
after
to,
this,
yeah.
I'm sending it to you.
Yeah, I watched Koa
It's
1
so good.
like last year, Koa 4, Koa 6, 7, and 8. I missed 5.
You're missing a
but I
couple
know
Koas,
older
man.
one. Yeah. I'm not a true IDVer. Been around from 2018, haven't watched all the Koas. I'm washed. I don't even remember what Koa 2 meta would have been anyways.
The hunter meta back then was Ripper and Spider.
Was it? I thought it was Koa 1.
No, that's COA 2.
Oh.
I don't know what the meta COA 1. It might have been the same, but I
I
remember
know
for
Spider
COA
was
2, it
really
Ripper
good for
Spider.
way too long.
Spider is still good in my opinion.
But she's more of a niche hunter. But like, if you see really good spider players, I always want to see good spider players because their web usage and with their new buff, she can go crazy. Absolutely insane. But
Oh,
now we're
yeah.
gonna see area selection now. Classic straight line Tetris piece, I guess. I don't know. People always call it Tetris piece, but they're all basically Tetris pieces, anyways.
Yeah, we have a psychologist up top, gravekeeper in middle, coordinator on the bottom, and acrobat to the middle right. We are just waiting to see where the Hermit decides he wants to go, and he's going
And
to
he
probably chase
goes
that
the
coordinator first.
bottom.
He's probably going to be chasing that coordinator first. Acro and Cord have knee jerk, or they all have knee jerk except for the Gravekeeper actually, who has a Tide Turner.
So
So we have
BT
no flywheel
heavy.
to possibly BT on all of them. No flywheels, so that way they won't be able to really see if they can flywheel those charges to negate the damage share. But we're gonna see
This
what these
can
players can
slightly
do.
burn them at the end, but I don't think it would change all too much. But we'll see how it goes at the end of the day. If first chase is core, then there could be a long kite or a very short kite, depending on how this Hermit plays his game. Because after all, every Hermit is unique. They're like an artist, they're all different.
Yes,
All their
indeed,
pizzazz
and the
and
match
wonder.
is going to start here in like a second.
Alright, match is starting up right now. We'll see where Hermit's heading. Hermit is heading for the cord, I believe.
Yep, that is the coordinator.
Starts an early connection for the cord to get on blue, potentially. Here.
Yeah, he went for it, but the charge seemed to have gone stopped on the pallet, allowing coordinator to get some distance here. She's going to be looping this little area right here, probably going to be vaulting that window. Gets the blue charge, but only 16 seconds left until everybody else can switch and keep the cord's kite going just a little bit longer. She's going to be vaulting that window, looping this area, which is actually an extremely good area for some survivors.
There's a little bit of
And is
mind
able
games here
to
and misses the shock again, giving Cord a potential for a gunshot here, wasting more time, and allows the polarity change to happen, which means Cord gets an additionally longer kite. This is a really good start for survivors here.
Yeah, this cord is doing a fantastic job. She's going to be going back into this window, going to get her knee-jerk speed boost here to be able to loop it one more time. Oh, but she does get stopped out by the Hermit connection. The psychologist did change her polarity to help the coordinator out just a little bit. Blink going to be used here, but it's not going to do much. Coordinator still going to be up and running thanks to that psychologist, and is going to be making her way over to, or she did want to go over to the right, but going over to the left, and I'm tumbling over my own words.
Well, we'll see here as Hermit then again has to make a good gamble here. We'll get the hit off for a down here. So, but with relatively good cipher control here. So, survivors made a lot of time with this really early cord kite. Also burned out trait here as he is running detention confined. So he has no additional ways to really exert extra pressure from what he has right now. So we are going to see Gravekeeper come in for the rescue early with that shovel. But as he has low damage anyways, he will always get that rescue off. Gets kicked out of shovel here. Potentially will go back for stun, but didn't swap the trait, so he will not get the damage hit.
Yes, we are going to see Cord be instantly farmed. Gravekeeper going over to this corner, but is going to use that second and final shovel just to avoid actually being injured. Hermit is going to lock onto the
Commit this
Gravekeeper though.
double down.
Yeah, he really wants it, but that's not going to be enough to actually get the Gravekeeper down. He's going to have to try and find that coordinator just to be able to chair her. And it seems like he knows exactly where she is at, going straight to where she was hiding. And is going to chair her over at the corner house by the psychologist here, with the highest cipher right now being at 90%. with the other highest one being almost at 60. Ciphers have been going really strongly, even though the ciphers are all currently connected, and there's only one cipher left, and Coordinator's only been on chair twice.
This is really a bad position for this Hermit now, as Hermit really needs to... Oh, does not catch out the Psychologist early. So, what he has to do here is get the cord down really early. Like, let's say, like, next 20 seconds, and then can probably get away with it. Gets the down, but it doesn't get a full down here because they all swapped to the same one at the same time. This cord is gonna have a super long kite now, which
The
is gonna
Acrobat and
unfortunately
Psychologist are both switching to blue
end.
just so they can sell the Coordinator and not go down and prime and pop their ciphers. These ciphers are climbing, with the highest one being at 92 at the moment. Pressure is on for these survivors, but since he's not on a target, they can just pop.
And they're just gonna
And all of
pop
them
right
have
away.
BT.
Full health
Everybody is
survivors at
full health.
end game.
Well, almost
Hermit
full,
here
but
has to get a down here and then go right to gate.
Gravekeeper did actually end up running straight into the Hunter while trying to rotate, but both Psychologist is actually the one on the gate, which is very smart because the Acrobat has a debuff on the gate, meaning that he cannot actually do the gate without it
Though
being
they
like
have to
slowed
leave
down.
early here because they're not anywhere close to getting the cipher. So now we're stuck in a crossroad here where Hermit really has control of the game now. He can really deny this Acrobat the rescue, and they have to open up the gate. So they're really stuck here for a little bit right here. So Hermit is really getting back his dominance he really needs. Misses the hit, but gets it back. But now all three survivors are up again. So Hermit really needs this down right now to secure. Misses the shock, but does get the down. So
Yeah, and
but
the
now they're
other
gonna
gate is at 70%, so they could just open that one and leave out that door.
could be very much what happens here, depending on how fast they can get that door open here. The second it hits, they have to make a really good smart change right here to stop the stun from happening. But it's not gonna happen. 99 on the gate and 83 on the other one. They are stuck.
Yeah, but with that
And we're
gate at
gonna
99, they could just, and it looks like they are doing just what I was about to say. They're getting the Psychologist off of the chair, and they're just gonna go to the 99% gate, get it open, and are gonna be able to actually escape, meaning that this
escape
is
with
going
it.
to be a tie for both teams.
Wow. Interesting map to have here. Match to have here. A tie early game with this one. I say both did really good for what it's worth. The Hermit kinda had a struggling early game, but managed to somewhat bring it back during the end. But with survivors being at full health, it's really hard to really take back that control you need. And that was the biggest problem, is that control was just lost and it got out of hand. So
Yeah, but he did really good trying to pull it back during the end game, being able to get out that Gravekeeper and prevent it from being a 3 escape instead of just a tie, like what they managed to pull off. It was just very good from both sides, but that Coordinator did have a really strong... Sorry, my ear's going wild right now. A very strong beginning game kite.
and especially with all the support hits they've been taking, like that one at near the end before the ciphers got popped, where all four managed to get on the cipher to make her live one more time. Really good stuff from the survivors and really good from the Hunter. So
Yeah, they just did really good making sure that that coordinator didn't actually go down, even at the sacrifice of their gravekeeper at one point, because he did go down during that entire scuffle at the end there. But the fact that the hermit had to fully focus on the coordinator at the end there just allowed them to pop the cipher because he didn't have a target at that point. And
Nope.
so they could safely pop the cipher and start endgame with nobody really being chased. And that was just a high advantage for the survivors there.
And especially with this end game where basically Hermit couldn't really chase anyone because either they open the gate and they get people out, or they rescue the survivors, which means they can get more gates open. Kind of a tough decision, especially since you have only Blink to work with, which is kind of a hard trait because as it means you commit early, but you lose out on your end game, especially with confined to detention. It really forces you to get things done quickly, which didn't happen here, so really unfortunate stuff.
Yeah, and we
But
really didn't even see that confined space being used by the hermit at all during that match. So I don't know if confined hermit was really the way to go for that. I think the hermit would have really benefited from a trump card being able to switch his trait. But enough about that. It's pick bands time with an
and
instant lock
starting
for the
off
magician.
with Magician's Sphere ban. Now, Magician was an interesting ban because I don't really know what hunter you would go to ban Magician.
Magician is very strong against a lot of like hunters that are like Anne and Bane, just any hunter that his wand can stuff out the ability for. Especially with the speed boost that he gets from the wand now. We're gonna see a Gravekeeper and a Barmaid walk in. I'm pretty sure this is, if I'm correct, this is Fever Hunting? But I'm not too sure. It's Soul Hunting, thank you, Lalzi. They both have names of which I cannot read, so I was like, is this Fever, is this not? I have a little info on Fever, I have nothing on those, so... Unfortunately,
We'll
I
just be
cannot give the information I wanted
speculating
to go.
in. So we see the coordinator ban here. So really normal bans here. So we'll see what the survivors have to respond with. They go Puppeteer. So a very tanky comp. So clearly if this hunter is playing something that requires more hits, this comp does really well into it. But we'll see what the final ban is. I don't know who it could be. It could be Embalmer.
Another very strong character that you just want to get out to
Clearly trying not to get
tie.
Tie, yeah. These survivors want to get more than a tie here, which is probably the goal, but this hunter's trying to deny him at least getting a tie, so. We'll see what the final survivor pick is, and it's gonna be Knight. Double rescuers here. Pretty solid choices all around.
Double rescuer is never a bad thing. It's good that they brought Knight in as like a secondary rescuer for somebody who can play like Tide as well as a kite build, or like a knee jerk or a flywheel.
Especially with the barmaid on the team, it really helps out Knight's playstyle and also helps out Puppeteer as well. So honestly, this comp kind of weaves in together to really just cover all bases.
Yeah, that barmaid is especially good for that Puppeteer that you mentioned just a second ago, because she can give him the drink and he will start to heal, even though you can't heal him normally. Actually, for those of you who don't know, Puppeteer can't be healed normally. He has to be either Wi-Fi healed with Psychologist, has to get a drink from the barmaid, or has to heal another survivor in order to heal himself. So having that barmaid on the team will really just save on a lot of healing time there. The builds for the survivors have been picked. Now we are just awaiting the pick of the hunter.
I like the name of Knights. Called
And
Full Kite.
he's hovering fool's gold.
Oh,
It's gonna go goat
but
man.
gonna play goat man.
I've been jubaited. God dang it. Round 1 fool's gold would have been wild. Especially because he actually somewhat excels on Eversleep, but no, goat man is probably the safest choice.
But goat man, if you have a goat man, you want to burn the goat man for a good early round 1. Now this comp can really deal with the goat man as well, so we'll see how it pans out. We're gonna see Knight go bottom, Puppeteer go bottom right. No, not actually. They go reverse T-shape, actually. Depending if the hunter goes there with all the rescuers on the bottom.
Very...
No, actually, no. What? No, they're swapping again. Never mind. Now we're gonna see reverse T-shape, but the Gravekeeper's on top now, and the Puppeteer's on bottom.
This was very much an interesting spawn selection, because well, yes, barmaid has those drinks that she can work with. You definitely don't want her to be that first chase if you are these survivors, because she isn't like Gravekeeper or Puppeteer, who is very tanky. She needs a good amount of time in order to get her heal off, so putting her up top probably would have been the better call in
now,
this spawn
real
location.
Quick, we need to see these traits. So now we have full kite on both the Knight and barmaid, while having knee jerk on Puppeteer with BT and Tide Turner with BT on Gravekeeper. So we are not going to see a Tide on Knight, but a full kite, which is an interesting choice to say the very least. Because usually you would either see a flywheel and a knee jerk with a Tide to really cover the bases, but clearly they're not playing that way, so we'll see how this pans out at the end. Very risky stuff.
Yeah, they do need to get a 3 survivor escape against this goat man in order to win the round. He's gonna go immediately for the barmaid here after having spotted her out immediately. She's going to go in towards the area of Dancing Geisha, but the Gravekeeper is over there. Gravekeeper's going to have to leave so that way she can kite safely. Is going to use her knee jerk to vault that window and get a little bit more distance against the goat man.
But as you can see, the Go Man isn't really doing anything, as he's just saving up for resentment for a big play here. As runs straight into the Goat Man here. Barmaid not opting to do the drink here, as he gets an early down middle. So
yeah, IT doing a very good job being able to get the down early. It's going to chair over here on the Knight's Cipher, which is the one at 38. And no ciphers have even hit over 80% yet. He is going to double predict the cage, but the Gold Man is just going to body block him, preventing him from coming in super early.
now we have both rescuers over here for a double rescue, I believe. I'm not quite sure. So now Goman's just gonna wait out the ability time here and then just gonna go right into a cage here. Seeing how this play works. Misses the flywheel and gets downed. Now the Goman's gonna try and opt for hitting the Knight here. Going full aggressive here. Gets the down with a blink. So now we're seeing a double down scenario with only one cipher done and the other one left at 40%.
Yeah, this Goat Man is doing an extremely good job just being able to keep control of the game. Barmaid was not able to get her drink off, and the blink actually ended up canceling out the swing prediction that the knight did, and the cage is just used to put the Gravekeeper back, actually, which means that there's a less high, and he does it again.
And it gets
They're not gonna be able to
blocked
rescue.
off! Oh my god! Actually
Man,
just hit him like a ping pong ball. Send him far away, sending the barmaid into the skies above. Now Goman swapping to the knight here, hoping for an early down here.
Goatman really said, "You're not getting this rescue. I'm not letting you." And the knight is actually entirely out of items here, meaning that his kite's not going to last super long. The knight is going to be put into this chair just over here. The second cipher is finally popping off. Puppeteer being just the decoder of the team right now, while you know who is struggling to just gain any momentum back at the moment. And we may
Kind
see
of.
the cage trick one. Oh, we're actually not seeing the cage trick again.
We're just gonna see an early hit here and going straight away. Has no companion effect on the knight as he was very slow getting off that chair. But as we see, the Goman here is just gonna go for a double down. Or he's gonna swap to the Puppeteer potentially to stop ciphers and just dish more damage. Terror shocks the Puppeteer on Cypher. Caught him absolutely off guard, thinking he was gonna go straight for the Gamekeeper. Wow. I'm shocked.
Yeah, what a beautiful terror shock from the Go-Man there. Had me actually physically gasping there for a second. What a beautiful play. And we got the double down situation you were mentioning in the first place, just not in the way that we thought it was going to happen. Knight is going to have to make a choice here. Either try and rescue his downed teammates or go for a dungeon play.
So what we're gonna see here now is that really no one can rescue this Puppeteer. So Puppeteer's dead no matter what. The shovel's not enough to really get far away, so they kind of just have to burn Tinnitus for a Goman to just kind of waddle away. But maybe Knight goes in for the rescue here. It's a little risky as he only has a flywheel, misses the flywheel, gets unfortunately downed here. So now the Goman's just gonna find this great Gravekeeper who still has exit path. They both do, so the Knight did heal him. But now we're just kind of in a stalemate here. So potentially waiting for a dungeon play. And we're just kind of stalling out to see who really wins at the end.
Yeah, it does look like Gravekeeper was looking for the dungeon location as he's over by the dungeon now. Knight might be able to get up soon. But the Goatman has tinnitus and knows that the Gravekeeper is nearby, did spot him out, but is also waiting for
Does see his tracks here. Gets it
Another
down
terror
for the
shock.
terror shock. Knows where Knight is middle, so he's probably just gonna chair him, and then it's probably gonna be a wraps for this match. Does not see the Knight. No, he sees the Knight.
He knows, he knows. This is going to be a 4K from the Goatman here. A very, very strong 100 as 3 ciphers are still remaining, and he's just gonna cage over to the Gravekeeper, who's just gonna go down. Exit path is no longer available, and they're just going to surrender.
Make a 4K here. So really good game from the Goatman here, and survivors really tried to hold it in. But there was a few interesting plays they made, especially early on. Like during the first rescue, both the Knight and Gravekeeper were both hovering around, which is an interesting choice to make, as frankly, the ciphers were just not there during the game. And that kind of led to their eventual downfall, as there was just no way they could get back, even if all 3 survivors are alive, because there was just no ciphers. So Goatman really capitalizing on that, especially with that glorious terror shock on the puppeteer middle. I don't think he was ever expecting to get hit there. I think he thought the Goatman was just straight up gonna go to pick up the Gravekeeper, but no. He ain't all about that. He different.
Yeah, I don't think I would have expected that kind of play either, if I'm gonna be honest. That must have been such a shock for the YKW Hunter or survivors. I had to think of their acronym for a second. But just an overall really show of power from IT here, but both sides were playing extremely well. And you know who was doing a wonderful job just trying to stay on their feet, but IT was just always 2 steps ahead of all of these survivors in the game. And honestly, at this point, that's just kind of what you had to do as a hunter if you want to secure your wins in a tournament, because those survivors have full communication with each other, and so being able just have yourself be ahead of the game like that is very difficult, but the hunter really managed to pull it off extremely well.
Yeah. We're just waiting. Waiting. Gonna see Darkwoods round 2. Gonna see Darkwoods round 2.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Whenever I hear
That
you know
we
who,
are
I feel
waiting
like I'm being talked to, like, you know who. Like, oh yeah, you know who is gonna come after you, like, oh.
You know who. And it looks like no subs are going to be played. We are going to see all of the same players for round 2.
Right.
And it looks like IT is going to be banning the map this time. Moonlit or Eversleeping cannot be picked or banned for this round either. So options are starting to become limited on where the players can actually go. I don't know about you, but I'm thinking we're going to see a red church.
Maybe Darkwoods.
You really want to see Darkwoods?
We're gonna see round 2 Darkwoods. I believe in it. Maybe. Wait.
Wait. In the chat said, I'm formally requesting YKW to choose Darkwoods. I don't know if Kish is on this team, but there is talk of Darkwoods in the team's chat right now.
Listen, this would be the greatest day ever.
My man's wants his Darkwoods. He wants the Darkwoods so bad.
The Darkwoods would be real.
And
they ban Hospital.
So that Darkwoods could still be in play.
Interesting Hospital ban. Usually you don't see it banned, it's usually just never touched. Like raw meat.
Hospital is not a great map for hunters usually, but survivors just don't really want to play either because it's banned so much that they don't really have a lot of experience on maps like this. Usually they only have experience with these maps in rank, and so they typically just try to avoid Hospital when they can, which is why it's hardly ever really seen in the competitive scene. And we are just waiting for the map selection from YKW right now to see where we are actually to go.
Dark. No!
They picked Arms Factory.
It's hard. It's so over.
We are waiting for IT to pick their starting faction to see if we're gonna see Soul go out once again and absolutely dominate, or if we're gonna see the YKW Hunter be the one playing first, just like we saw with the Hermit, which honestly I could go for either. I do not care who plays first. I just want to see some good old matches.
I just want to see some good new hunters. I want to see a Nightmare. Nightmare, roll around the street.
Oh my god, Nightmare is so much fun to watch and play. I've actually got a no-lose Nightmare right now. I think I've lost maybe twice with him.
No lose Nightmare, that's like...
That's what I call him,
Scary.
my no-lose Nightmare.
You know, I tried to push a meta on Nightmare once. It was Patroller Nightmare. And it was just throwing. I lost.
I'm not doing that.
Bet.
I'm not doing that. No.
You have to. No lose Nightmare. You say you don't lose. So,
Yeah,
Patroller?
I don't lose with Blink.
Well, maybe just change up Blink. Like, come on, dude. Patroller's like Blink. If
Bro,
Naya
I
can run it, you
Bro,
know.
I run Detention Confined Nightmare. I'm taking my Blink.
Well, then just stop running that. Run Trump Card. You don't need your pallets. You have Revelation. Just get stun yourself. Make sure you eat every pallet, and that's how you play Nightmare. 2025.
No, I would rather continue my win streak.
Well, you can win. I've never said you'd lose with it. You can win. I think you need to build the confidence in your Nightmare. See?
I have confidence with my Nightmare.
But you don't have confidence in Patroller Nightmare. That's the problem.
I've never played Patroller Nightmare. What do you mean?
That's on you. It literally was meta. I invented it. It should be plausible. If you told Akka to play Nightmare,
Pick some
he would
bands.
play Nightmare Patroller.
We're moving on.
So-
We're moving on. Pick some bands. We're moving on. Another
gonna see
Doctor Band.
Doctor Band. I think Dummy
Another
just really
thing.
hates Doctor.
I don't think Dummy likes Doctor.
To all the Doctor fans out here, you're not wanted in this matchup.
Not by Dummy at least.
Not Dummy. Dummy doesn't want you. Doctor mains do not interact. DNI.
I'm hearing a
Gonna see
clown
an
in the
Ivy
background.
band. A what?
Norton.
Norton. Oh, a Norton pick. Let's go. With
The hunter in the lobby is
Murrow.
hovering over. So what I was saying earlier, the hunter in lobby right now is.
Cut out.
Jack can't hear him. We can hear him though.
Oh, little girl band. Oh my goodness.
Who
The
are
rank
you
demon.
going to play?
Listen, little girl. Ever since her buff, she's been too good. So I understand. The vision is there.
Who are we going here, buddy?
I mean, Dummy's got it. Okay. I think he's cooking. This man's in the
We're gonna
kitchen.
see
5-star kitchen right now.
Cheerier. Well, he doesn't have access to his hermit anymore.
Banning Priestess on Artifact is a little strange as that's her worst map, but we'll see how this pans out.
And they are going to pick prisoner for the last survivor. We got a prospector, a wildling, a cheerleader, and a prisoner. I'm excited to see some prospector. I'm not even going to lie here. And it looks like we are waiting for the builds to be selected by all of the players right now, and just a moment of time before we will be able to see who the hunter is deciding to play.
I wonder what the hunter's actually gonna play here. I don't even know anymore.
I'm not saying clown because this is a lot of, like, these bands don't suggest that it's going to be a clown, you know? But he could play clown. I'm going purely off.
Clown would go kind of hard.
Clown would be incredible right now, but there are also a lot of obstacles in Arms Factory. So we have to take that into consideration as well, that Clown might not be the best on this map.
But you know clown mains, they're all like really cheeky little buggers. They always find a way.
I've got Clown Main on my team for this tournament, so yes, I understand exactly how Clown Mains work.
We're gonna
And it is
see
gonna
a
be a hullabaloo.
hullabaloo
They didn't
early.
ban
Oh,
him, he's
this
gonna
is
be played.
this is actually really bad for the survivors. These are not great survivors into a hullabaloo. Wildling gets instantly kicked off board if he gets hit. Norton isn't too bad, Prisoner's too bad, but Cheerleader kind of, the slowdown really does hurt. So, Dummy's in the kitchen right now. He's in a French kitchen right now.
Dummy is in
Cooking
the
the
5-star
greatest food
kitchen,
ever.
like you said. Why did they move Wildling out of middle?
These are very interesting. Well, I think they're just trying to
They moved
arrange
him
it
back
like
in the middle. They moved him back in the middle. It's fine.
they
All
put
is
him. They put little Moreau in the middle.
all is correct in the world. Flywheel, knee jerk, tied with everyone having borrowed time here. The Prospector, the only one with Flywheel. The Prisoner and the Cheer have knee jerk, and the Wildling has tied as he should. He's going to go for the Prisoner first by the looks of it. We have the same spawn as the last game that we just watched, so we can't wait to see how well this hullabaloo does against this team comp.
Interesting that the cheerleader does not have Tide Turner, because I don't know why, but like it's a very common and also like a interesting choice to have nowadays, especially since she's really good at just infiltrating in. So not seeing the Tide Turners are a little interesting. I don't think they expected a hullabaloo, probably, so caught him really off guard here.
Yeah, Cheer's just a good character of getting in and getting out, so Tide here is definitely typically a good route to go. But again, like you said, they probably weren't suspecting a hullabaloo at all based on the bans that Dummy was giving. So now they have to deal, and based on the Ivy ban, they probably didn't even know that Dummy.
That is,
So
yeah. And honestly, draft pick winning is always way better than the actual gameplay sometimes, because winning the draft means you win the war. So
yes.
actually does not see the Prisoner here. Is going off of a false tinnitus here. Interesting how he didn't use the clone early to find it, but is actually opting for the Murrow, I believe here.
Yeah, it does look like he's going to be chasing the Wildling first, which again, it's Hullabaloo. Hullabaloo has no attack recovery, but it is still a Wildling, and Wildling can be a very strong hider. Gonna get the Black Bomb on first. With that clone disappearing, he has to wait until he gets his clones back up. But Wildling is really just running him around right now. Since he's on the board, the hunter knows that he cannot. Oh,
gets the hit though.
Right as the boar ran out.
No, because it kicks him off the board. He still had board timer left. It just instantly takes him off. So.
Really? But what was the damage from them?
Just any damage from Hullabaloo just kicks him off board. It's a weird interaction. But with really good ciphers along here, it really isn't looking too crazy, but catches out the Prospector really early, but gets pallet stunned here, meaning that the Prospector gets to last a little bit longer. Maybe someone else goes in for the rescue here, which looks like is the case, but I'm assuming the Hullabaloo right now is just going to go full gunning for the Prospector here, as frankly no one really can rescue him here, as he's in a really bad area.
Yeah, and he does just need the black stage left, but a beautiful flywheel from the Prospector there is actually going to keep him alive just a little bit longer. They do heal up the Wildling, And suddenly the hullabaloo has no progress whatsoever, which puts him in a really bad position. The prospector goes down, and they're probably going to send in that wildling, since wildling can actually rescue.
A little bit of a hard rescue as he is full presence here, and Wildling cannot really use the boar here. So he just has to do it kind of raw here. Hopefully does not get caught out here. Does actually get the rescue off, but will be a double down scenario as, frankly, yeah, double down scenario here. So is
And it's
going
going to
to
abnormal the
abnormal
cipher.
the cipher in the corner, but surprisingly, you you know who is a little bit not on ciphers. They're a little bit slow on the ciphers, but they have a lot of spread out decoding. So that's still really good for them, but it's also a little bit troubling as it is a hullabaloo, and hullabaloo can make really major snowball potential. Especially if he catches out thinks he sees someone, but it's actually just the prospector on share here, so know someone's decoding middle, but they know they're healing, but he can't find out where they're healing. So, but I do believe the
Well, it
prospector
does.
is gonna die.
Yeah, they did end up selling that prospector. Now the person in middle, which was the prisoner, is gone, so he now has no idea where these survivors are at the moment, which just is free decoding time for the team. Going to find the wildling out, and wildling is going to get back on board right here.
Yeah, it looks like potentially an early down, depending if he can really get this red ball hit here. Misses the red ball hit from the clone here, so really he needs to just catch up here and hopefully get an early hit here. Does manage to get that hit, so, and actually gets the double hit here, so that's another down, and Wildling's already been on the chair here, so puts a lot of pressure. Is gonna go middle, which is gonna go right into the prisoner.
Yeah, prisoner did
So
emote to bait out the drop, and he's actually going to just change targets entirely to the cheerleader.
it's gonna abnormal the
He's
cipher here as
abnormal.
well.
Yeah, that's the second abnormal of the game on that cipher specifically. That is actually the last cipher from that the survivors are trying to decode at the moment. Meaning that
I know.
they
Survivors
actually
here
need to
are,
listen it longer now.
my bad.
I'm,
Survivors here are
I'm
kind
lagging.
of in a standstill here, as frankly they don't really have a cipher that's far enough to really have a kite to be that long. But if cheerleader can make this kite super long, never mind. 60%. I mean, 60% is still really good here. If they pressure the prisoner, who is still full health, by the way, it really doesn't net much for the hullabaloo here. So we'll see how this plays out. But I don't. Where is the wildling? He is going up to
Wildling,
the cipher right now. So we're gonna see prisoner rescue here. So we need to see a really early down here, as there's roughly about 10 seconds until the cipher pops. So is Hullabaloo gonna get this down before that? Is the big question. Doesn't seem that way, so we're gonna see a hit into a pop and a early shock, which is just gonna make him swap directly to the prisoner, which I wouldn't say that's the right play, but cheerleader is still around here, so he can just swap to the cheerleader if he does do that. He still sees the cheerleader, so we might see a double down into a 3K here.
yeah, this is very good on the side of you know who, being able to just get this double down. If and there is the down. prisoner's healing is only at 69, which means the Hullabaloo can actually go back to middle and chair in time for. Never mind. He is still going to go back to middle though, and he knows where the prisoner is actually, so he can.
No, doesn't know where the
Oh,
prisoner is actually.
doesn't
He
know
lost them,
actually.
but it
Yep.
has tinnitus here, but he thinks it's at the gate, but there's no one actually at the gate, but does not see him? So,
Honestly, I wouldn't have seen the prisoner there either. I get it.
okay, but he sees him now, so kind
He
of
sees
leaving him in
him
the
now.
open for
But the
maybe a
wildling
potential
was over.
rescue.
Yeah, the wildling was over by the. Oh, but they don't get it.
They're not even close for rescue. And with Dungeon being super far away, I see this as a guaranteed 3-man here. As frankly, there's not really much the Wildling can do for support, unless, you know, 22 sec. Yeah, it's just going to be an out here, and it's going to be a 3K.
Yeah, not really a lot these survivors are gonna be able to do, and prisoner didn't even have exit path anymore. So if the survivor or if the hunter wanted, he could have just left prisoner on the ground to just end up surrendering. But that is the end of the round.
Played really good for both teams, given what the drafting looked like. As frankly, that was kind of a bad Hullabaloo comp, especially with the Wildling, as there's not much he can do. So, really pulling off a 1-man here was really good from them. And Dummy, the Hullabaloo, played that also really well, especially controlling the ciphers, because they did not have a cipher near endgame enough to be really there to pressure, because the abnormals just completely took him out of the game. So
Yeah, that abnormal really just stuffed the cipher progress on the survivors, and they were struggling to keep with this. I don't even think they were anticipating that Hullabaloo, like I was saying before the round. So this really put the IT survivors in kind of a bad spot, going from the tie in the first round to a 3K in the second round, purely just because the Hullabaloo was available to play, but now that Hullabaloo will not be available for round 3 if we do see a round 3. I don't know what the win conditions are right now, actually. Because I know that. Okay. So, relaying what I was just told, if IT here gets a 4K, that's just it, and that's a win for IT, but a tie or more on the side of the survivors, the know-who survivors, means that is a guaranteed round 3.
now we're gonna jump right into the next match here. Starting off with a Sphere and Magician band, so they're keeping their bands fairly consistent throughout the round.
At this point, these are just targeted bans.
Maybe
It's
maybe
not
they
even
have a
character specific.
devious. They just hate magicians.
Well, then got the Hullabaloo again!
Banning out the
did
Ivy,
not learn.
so we could see another Hullabaloo.
We're going to see another Hullabaloo, what do you mean?
The clowns are out. It's a circus out here.
It is in fact a circus out here, but that's not really anybody's fault. It's way too early in the morning.
Yeah, 7 a.m. Woo! We're gonna see a first officer and psychologist pick with, again, the coordinator band. So we're probably gonna see the same bands here, and then we're just gonna see a bunch of new characters pop in to replace them. Acrobat being picked here. And last but not least,
Fire investigator pick or ban. Fire investigator ban.
Finn.
Finn.
And then now we're gonna see our last survivor pick, and it's going to be
Drum roll, please. Explore.
Explorer! Kurt,
Yeah. I
our
love
tall
Kurt, he's
short
great.
king,
Our tall short king.
our glorious tall short king. Imagine being able to be a tall short king. It's like dual faction, you know? It's like playing Hunter and Survivor. You just can't lose.
You just can't lose.
You're winning in life.
Yeah, now we are just waiting for the survivors to confirm their builds so that way we can then move on to see who the heck the hunter is going to pick for this one, as if we don't already know.
Well, maybe they don't really like it. Maybe they hate Hullabaloo. Honestly, I hate Hullabaloo. So
When the win
Ever
condition is a
since-
4K?
listen, you know what? Maybe they just don't like Hullabaloo. Maybe they have a Leo. Maybe they have a Nightmare. Maybe Nightmare will save them. You never
I
know.
would love to see a Fool's Gold in this set, but that's just because I am a Fool's Gold maid myself. However, I do not see it being anybody but Hullabaloo right now.
We can only dream.
What did I tell you?
Whoa! It's a Hullabaloo, guys! Can you believe it?
Who would have
I-
thought? Who would have thought?
Honestly, it could have gone either way. It could have been Nightmare, it could have been Hullabaloo. They're both S tier. It's the truth. But we're gonna see my Hula. Honestly, violinist S tier hunter, legit best character in the game.
Dude, he's so underrated.
RIP, my
Violin's
boy.
so cool to watch.
The fact that River got buffed means that he is now the effective worst character. RIP, my boy. You did not need to lose out to a man who spews out fog.
Oh my god, the
What?
Ripper adjustment was so unnecessary, by the way. I'm
I'm surprised we have not seen a Ripper here at all.
You know what? Yeah.
Maybe when Santi plays, you'll pull out the devious Ripper.
Maybe when Santi plays. I didn't even know Santi, but you know.
I think he's here. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm lying. I don't know. Maybe I'm predicting things. Maybe I'm projecting. But
Maybe I'm
we're gonna
projecting.
see talent here. We're gonna see a full Stewie kite on the Acrobat, knee jerk BT on the Psychologist, a tied flywheel on the Explorer, and a tied BT on the First Officer guy. Yeah.
The first officer guy. And we're gonna
I
see
can't wait for the
similar
second
spawns
officer.
too. We're gonna see the same spawn pattern as the last round, but instead of putting the decoder in the factory, the decoder is actually deep sandbags. Or I guess sandbag rooms is what that would be called. We have Acrobat up top, first officer in the middle, Psychologist in factory. This Hullabaloo is probably going to chase that Psychologist first.
Oh, and I also just realized Explorer got the buff where clones can't find them anymore. So this is gonna be very interesting as we're gonna see this live. So can we see if the Hullabaloo can find the little short man running around without
the tall
clones?
short man.
There's our short king,
Our tall short king.
our tall short king, glorious Kurt. So we are in
you're
the
gonna
match
see-
now.
We're probably going to see Hullabaloo immediately just go straight. Yep, he does actually already see the Psychologist, which, unlike the prisoner from last round, is a very lucky spawn for this Hullabaloo. Misses the instant color there, but is going to start catching up. Gets the red bomb on the Psychologist, using a speed boost to get to the pallet now, and it's going to actually waste that pallet That's actually a very good palette in this map. Some would even say the god palette. And Psychologist is going to take that hit and going to immediately take another hit from the clone. Hullabaloo quite not yet having um his insolence up yet because he has insolence detention. Not insolence detention, trump card. There is the insolence, meaning that he has his little jumps now. Going to rotate the stage beneath him to get that red bomb. Going to double color here, and all he needs now is that black stage, and it'll be one down to Psychologist for the Hunter.
Missing stage here, but is gonna get the down right here, right now. So as we see his insolence, but Chair's far away, so we may not see the insolence value, given that Kurt doesn't have a page, so Kurt needs to finish the cipher, but we might see an actual abnormal middle, as that is the cipher. Who was that? First officer was working on, so a little bit unfortunate as it is, but we are gonna see first officer get a free rescue here from that exchange.
Yeah, he is just stalling it out right now. Waiting until he can pull the Psychologist up. Going to get a hit onto the first officer. And
Is opting for the double down here. Gets the double down even with the pocket watch up.
Oh yes, the pocket cipher.
The pocket cipher.
New decoder incoming, guys. Pocket cipher.
Oh my god, Lanternus, is that you? Anyway.
Oh my god, wait, yeah.
We are gonna see the double down here with ciphers being not too behind here, as we're gonna see Acrobat try and finish that cipher, and we're gonna see Explorer come in for the rescue. Does not catch him out. Does see him here because he started running. So hopefully it is not another double down, but it's gonna be an instant rescue for the Tide here. Maybe we see the flywheel. Flywheel is a little too early here, so goes straight after the Psychologist, and the third cipher has not been finished yet, so we are gonna be a little behind here. But we do see the 50 pop on the Explorer.
He's gotten a double down every single rescue so far. Very great control from this Hullabaloo. All he has to do now is go and find his Explorer, who is only actually at 25% healing, but he is out in the open, and this Hullabaloo will absolutely be able to find him in time.
Oh, even worse is that he's gonna abnormal that cipher as well, meaning that that page kind of got a little bit wasted here.
Yeah,
so we're
just putting back the progress of all of the survivors right now. First officer can't come in for the rescue, meaning that the Acrobat has to be the one to do it. And we actually see the Acrobat already coming in right now. Acrobat does not actually have borrowed time either, and there are still 2 ciphers remaining. Going to use the window boost as well as the bomb there to just gain some distance. Is going to still go for the double down though, which he gets pretty much instantly with the double color. And is now going straight for the Explorer, and is going to get that double down once again. Very strong dominance from the Hunter here. And it's going to just chair this Explorer, and is probably going to leave the Acrobat to use his exit path right now, and does have to menace on the first officer, using the clone to spot him out. But since Acrobat got up, he is going back to the chair just to try and prevent a rescue. Nobody can actually rescue here since they're both at half health. You can actually see, oh, officer is actually coming in. This probably is not the greatest idea though on the
but with the last desperate play, you kind of have to be forced here to rescue, so. But gets an early down here anyways, but there is no double down, so the benefit is that Acrobat could get starting a cipher, but he does have the trait swap, so it can be teleport, which he might do here right now. Teleports on the Acrobat to lockers.
Yeah, And Acrobat actually has no more exit paths to work with. So this is going to be very much of a struggle for the survivors, because now he doesn't even have to chair, and he knows now that he can just go straight for the officer who's still over by dungeon right now. And is probably just going to try and hide out from this hullabaloo for as long as possible, but the clones do actually spot out the officer, and so does the hullabaloo. The chase begins, the final chase the of the set, probably. Um, and yeah, this looks like a 4K, which was exactly what IT needed.
Yeah, we're gonna see this down come right now as he grabbed the book as well. Actually, does the book work as well with Hullabaloo, or is it just the Explorer unique trait? I don't know. But either
I think
way,
it might just be an
4,
Explorer unique trait.
4K from IT here, and that will be the win that IT needs to move on.
Yep, that is the set win, ladies and gentlemen, for the side of IT. Congratulations to IT for winning and moving on, but also a big round of applause for you-know-who for actually playing extremely well today and just being able to hold their own. Yeah, the treacherers that are IT. Yeah, I got nothing else to say.
Yeah, that game really got brutal from all the kills that Hullabaloo was able to get. Constant downs on every single rescue. Really, really hurt for these you-know-who survivors, as they really could not exert pressure that they had because they just kept on getting downed and downed. So
Yeah, very
IT,
unfortunate from the survivors just being absolutely steamrolled by a very clearly experienced hullabaloo here. But they still played really well. They did all that they could in order to try and prevent the 4K for as long as possible, but unfortunately, this hullabaloo was just, again, 2 steps ahead at all times.
the clowns are getting very scary. And it's not
They
even
are.
October.
It's not even October yet. The clowns. The clowns, man.
Oh no, can't wait until we get Hullabaloo Smiley one tricks. Ah, so scary.
That was day 2, set number 1, or what set is this? I don't even know. That was IT versus us.
You
That
know
was that.
who?
Thank you. It's too early for this.
I know
Anyways,
who because you know who. Yeah.
thank you guys for coming and watching. I'm pretty sure there are more sets happening later, and we will see you there for that.
Yep. We will see you later, guys. Bye bye.